Welcome to Conversations with Kay, talking all things fashion, pageants, and beauty. Here's your host, Katie Maskey.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Conversations with Kay. I am Katie Maskey, your host today, and I'm really excited to bring this to you because this podcast is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. My career started actually when I was a teenager in the world of modeling. I went to some classes and got up on the runway, just fell in love with fashion and modeling and did photo shoots and all of that. And as I got older, I really fell in love with helping others get involved into the world of modeling. And that developed into a new love for pageantry. So I competed in my first pageant. I took my modeling career onto the pageant world, and I competed in my first pageant, and I just loved the atmosphere. I made so many wonderful friends. So from that, I actually turned my love for pageantry into helping others and coaching. So I have a studio called Studio K Coaching, and with my studio, I work with young girls, teenagers, women of all ages to help them as they prepare for their upcoming pageant competition. But I also work with girls and men as well, getting involved into the modeling world, because that's my first true love. So I work with many different talent as they're working on photo shoots or preparing for a runway show or trying to get into the fashion world, or obviously as they're getting ready for the pageant world. So I was lucky enough to carry the title of Mrs. Ohio United States in 2015, and I just really have enjoyed my experience. So I want to share my experiences with you. And the one thing I love the most about being a coach and getting to work with all these different personalities and people is that I get to hear their stories. And so I'm excited to bring Conversations with Kay to you because I can share those stories that they tell me all the time. So you're going to hear from people as they are preparing for their pageant or as they're getting ready for a fashion show or whatever the case may be. You're going to hear their stories, and we'll give you a little bit of advice along the way as well. So hopefully you'll find that to be useful as you might be preparing for something too. So I'm excited because my very first guest is one of my best friends and somebody that I actually competed with. And that's the one thing I do love about pageantry as well, is that I've made some of my best friends through competitions. But Kim Foerster is going to be with us today to share a little bit more about her journey. And she's also got a special guest with her.
Coming up on Open Mic, I'm talking with Carmen Miller. Carmen is a unique and soulful songstress whose ability to captivate audiences has made her a cornerstone of our local music scene. I talked to her about her love of performing and why she's paying tribute to two beloved music icons.
You want everybody in the room to feel like they're experiencing something really special with you. And I think that Prince was that kind of performer. I could just stand there and dance and just kick it all evening.
You have so much energy, and like you wouldn't know it. Like, I mean, it seems like you just have just supreme confidence when you're up there. But what I was gonna say, do you have like what makes you nervous about performing?
You know what? The times that I find I'm nervous. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
All right, we are back now with Kim Foerster, and I'm excited because I know Kim's journey as a good friend of mine and somebody that I've competed with, but many of you might not know her story. So Kim, welcome. Thank you so much for helping me on the very first broadcast of Conversations with Kay. So thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. And how was your day today?
It was good. I can't complain. So, all right, well, good. Let's get right into it. If you can, like I said, I know your journey, but I'd love for you to share your journey in pageantry because you are not a newbie. So, maybe tell them a little bit about when you started, how you started, and some of the titles that you've had.
Well, I started actually when I was 1 year old. My mom put me in pageants a long time ago. As you can see, my daughter's right behind me. But that was something that we did. My brother was terminally ill, and that was our weekends away. So pageants kind of gave me that normalcy in my life, just with me and my mom. So we did that every weekend, and I won a lot of little pageants around the Youngstown area, and then took some time off. I was a competitive dancer, so I took time off during high school, and then started back in pageantry at the Miss Ohio USA pageant, I believe in 2003. So a long
My
time.
gosh. You
Yeah.
are no newbie. I know that. Okay, so yeah, when did you then convert into, you are obviously now married, so you converted into the Mrs. pageant world. So when was that?
I started my first Mrs. pageant. It was Beauties of America. I actually competed for Ohio's 20s, and I was first runner up there. That was my first pageant as a married woman. That was in 2007. Then I
Okay.
took some time off again. My had some family member that was terminally ill, and then she always told me to reach for my goals, and then that's when I entered Mrs. Midwest Galaxy, where I met you.
Yes, yes. Kim and I actually competed at Midwest Galaxy together, and I was crowned Mrs. Midwest Galaxy in 2011. And then Kim, I was so excited I got to crown Kim in 2012 as Mrs. Midwest Galaxy. So, and we've been the best of friends ever since then. So that's the one thing I think I love about pageantry, is that you can really create some of your, you make some of your best friends there. So I think that's one thing we don't talk enough about. But all right, so now you're getting ready for another pageant system coming up. You have a current title, which is?
I am American Royal Beauties Ms. Ohio.
Okay, but not only are you the Ms. Ohio, you also have somebody special competing with you.
I do. My daughter is the Princess Ohio for American Royal Beauties.
Okay, so Jalen, there she is. Jalen is in the princess age division, which is 4 to 6. So I know what it's like to compete as a Mrs. You've got your family, your husband is in the, the background kind of helping and all of that. And it's a stressful time because you've got a lot to prepare for and to get ready for, and you're trying to do your own prep and all of that. But I cannot imagine what it's like to prepare for a pageant for yourself, but also preparing your daughter as well. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, she doesn't like to practice, so that's always a struggle. But it's I get more nervous, I think, for her, so I think that calms my nerves down for myself when she's on stage. I don't think about myself anymore. I think about her. So it's just, making sure she has the same experience as I did. She's, I think, getting more comfortable being in front of people and kind of getting out of that little bit of a shyness stage in her life.
Yeah. I think that pageantry is great for that. And that's, I know as a coach, that's the one thing when I work with some of the younger girls, that's the one thing we work on the most, is breaking them out of that shyness and, kind of building their self-esteem. And I think that's really neat that you get to do that, with your daughter. And I've obviously been working with Jalen as well. She came to the studio and we did a little practice. Have you been practicing?
Have you been practicing? She has too.
She just says no. She just admitted, she said no. But I know, I just can't imagine doing my own prep and then also working with her. So I think that's really neat, though, that you can kind of use that as your way of calming yourself. I think some people might not say that same thing, but, just being able to focus on her. And how do you feel like come pageant day? How do you feel like it's going to be?
I think it's going to be hectic and stressful, getting her ready and then getting myself ready. I do know that pageant day, her interview's at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's kind of early for a little one, but at least mine's later in the day. You'll be grumpy. But at least mine's later in the day so she can, go down. I'll let my mom take her down to interview like I did for states. And that seemed to help her a little bit because I think I make her nervous too. So,
yeah.
And then I'll have time away.
I know the mother-daughter relationship, I always love being a part of witnessing that when preparing for a pageant, but sometimes I know it's hard. It's hard because they don't want to listen to mom, or, they've got their own way of doing things, and mom is never right, of course. So being a pageant coach, it's kind of nice because I feel like I can play that medium role with some of those girls and kind of step in and say the same things mom would say, but it's just a different person saying it now. So I don't know why that makes a difference, but sometimes it does.
It does.
Right. So are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you fully prepared?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm nervous for her. I guess, I want her to learn the differences between winning and losing. I think that's an important thing to learn in life.
Absolutely.
She just said she always wins. She's never going to lose.
I love it.
I guess being ambitious and having those goals is a good thing for her. But
hey, she's confident. That's half the battle right there.
Definitely confident. But my concern is, I want her to do the best that she can do and for her to win. And then if I win, it's just the icing on the cake. So.
Right. I agree. I think that would be, you both have your own titles right now. And so what was that moment? This is the first time the two of you competed in the same pageant system before, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what was that moment like, kind of leaving after pageant day when you won your regional titles and going home and saying, oh my gosh, we have the same title? What did that feel like?
She was very excited. She was excited that we did this together, and that's why I did it. I wanted to do something with her that's just for her and I. And when we got in the call, she couldn't wait to call my dad and then call my husband Bobby to tell him the good news. So something that we have matching sweatshirts with our titles on them, and just little things they kind of get to do together.
You're creating those memories, and I think that's really neat that you can do that together, because I see so many moms that are there supporting their daughters, but then they aren't always the ones on the stage, or vice versa. I see moms, obviously, being in the Mrs. pageant world, how that is. We compete with a lot of mothers, so their kids are in the stage or in the audience cheering them on, but not on the stage with them. So I think that's really neat that you can create that kind of bond between the two of you, where you're both involved in something that you both enjoy and can do it together, and you have the same title. So now, are you completely ready for nationals? Are you? Yeah. I know she's saying she's confident and ready, even though she's telling us she's not practicing, which I will be talking to her offline about that. But do you feel like you're ready?
Yeah, I do. I told her we were going to practice tonight. We both were going to practice and get ready for our walking patterns, and have her repractice her new routine for talent. But I feel ready. I'm excited about my wardrobe. I really, I feel good in my gown and excited for my fun fashion. So I feel like I'm ready. I still have some paperwork to fill out to get ready for interview, but I think that we'll be ready to go.
I always say that it helps me as a coach when I'm preparing for my own pageant to help others prepare. So I would imagine it's probably the same for you. As you're helping her prepare, you're kind of preparing yourself too. You're getting her organized, and then you're going through your own checklist while you're going through hers, right?
Right, yeah. So it's a lot more packing when you're packing for two people, but making sure that, everybody has everything that they need. And it helps that my mom goes, and my mom's been there and she's been doing this for years. So it helps that she can get her ready and calm her nerves.
Right. So, well, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to watching you both on stage, and, hopefully you'll both be walking away with a new shiny crown. That's the goal anyways. Anything you want to add there, Jalen?
You want to add anything? Stop it.
Gotta love kids, right? So, well, good. Well, thank you so much for being my very first guest and helping me out as we, I appreciate that. So, hopefully we'll be talking again soon after you come home with a new title. And I look forward to kind of sharing a little bit more about your journey, and we'll talk again. So thank you for taking this time to talk with us.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. special thank you again to Kim and her daughter Jalen. I loved getting to hear about their preparations, and I don't have children of my own, so I can only imagine what it's like competing with your daughter. And so I loved hearing that, that kind of calms her nerves. And I love how confident Jalen is. So I'm looking forward to continuing to follow their journey. And that's just one of the stories that you'll be hearing on Conversations with Kay. I work with so many different people from different backgrounds through the world of pageantry and modeling and fashion and beauty. We'll be talking with a lot of different makeup artists and obviously a lot of different title holders, because I'm excited to hear their stories as they're preparing for their competition. So thank you again for joining us. I'm looking forward to what we have to offer on this show, and I'm looking forward to all the different conversations that we're going to have, and I hope that you are too. So thank you for tuning in again, and I'll see you next time.